On Friday, J.D. Vance gave a speech at the Munich Security Conference, an annual international meeting on security policy, to give them a warning. Yeah, we probably should be concerned about foreign terrorism threats like that guy who yet again drove a car through a German crowd the other day. But there's also the danger of the threat from within, as he called it. It's not just about what we're defending from. It's also about what we're defending for, because if we become the very sort of authoritarian hellscape we're supposedly trying to prevent, what are we actually accomplishing? What are we even defeating?
The threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within, the retreat of Europe from some of its most fundamental values, values shared with the United States of America. I've heard a lot about what you need to defend yourselves from, and of course that's important. But what has seemed a little bit less clear to me, and certainly I think to many of the citizens of Europe, is what exactly it is that you're defending yourselves for. What is the positive vision that animates this shared security compact that we all believe is so important? There is no security if you are afraid of the voices, the opinions, and the conscience that guide your very own people.
Of course, in response, European politicians were outraged. One speaking anonymously to a Financial Times reporter said, "How dare he? Advocating for European free speech is a direct assault on European democracy." Another said, "It is very clear Europe is alone." Asked if he now considers the U.S. an adversary, he replied, "Yes. Well, it wouldn't be the first time we fought you, so that's fine. And if gently reminding you that we are allied on values, so let's please remain committed to those values is enough to become your enemy, well, it was probably never worth being your friend anyway." But in fairness, it wasn't just European butts that were hurt. Our very own American media is at least as ridiculous. In response to Vance's speech, Margaret Brennan lectured Marco Rubio about how free speech caused the Holocaust.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you.
Yes, if only the good Nazis had censored the bad Nazis, then this all could have been avoided. But the problem isn't just philosophical. It's factual, because there were many significant efforts to censor the Nazis during the Weimar Republic, actually. Hitler himself was banned from speaking in several German states for years. One thing J.D. Vance emphasized is that what used to be creeping European censorship is now in a full sprint. It's not just a few crazy outlier cases here and there. This is a massive policing operation.
Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person, but no.
And despite all the flailing and the shrieking of European politicians and American journalists alike, they then step right up to prove his point. Right on cue, Margaret Brennan's own network, CBS, provided all the evidence to prove it in a concisely cut segment in Sunday night's episode of 60 Minutes. No, you don't even need to go searching for all the examples of the ridiculous censorship police state. We've already got them all assembled conveniently for you. In fact, we did a ride-along with German police for a pre-dawn meme raid.
It's 6:01 on a Tuesday morning, and we were with state police as they raided this apartment in northwest Germany. Inside, 6 armed officers searched a suspect's home, then seized his laptop and cell phone. The crime, posting a racist cartoon online.
And that guy's meme wasn't even that dank, apparently. They had 50 other raids just that morning.
At the exact same time, across Germany, more than 50 similar raids played out. Part of what prosecutors say is a coordinated effort to curb online hate speech in Germany.
Back at the office, investigators and prosecutors have stacks of folders of thousands of similar posts.
You must see a lot of crazy stuff.
Yes.
The worst of the internet is wrapped in red case folders, stuffed with printouts of online slurs, threats, and hate.
This is a criminal offense, so Kletterpark for Flüchtlinge.
So they're suggesting that the refugee children play in the electrical wires. Okay.
At least he didn't call it a jungle gym, because that would have been way more racist. But this investigator is part of just one of 16 units across the country. He and his 9 staff members can't get to all the memes.
How many cases are you working on at any time?
In our unit, we have about 3,500 cases per year.
But they are successfully prosecuting hundreds annually.
His unit has successfully prosecuted about 750 hate speech cases over the last 4 years.
All to protect the victims of online violence.
Josephine Ballon is a CEO of Hate Aid, a Berlin-based human rights organization that supports victims of online violence.
Well, maybe I should reach out. In all my younger years of Halo and Call of Duty, I've been the victim of hundreds of thousands of online murders. I have my own personal genocide. I deserve my own Nuremberg. In listening to them try to rationalize how what they're doing is anything different from the authoritarian crackdown they're supposedly trying to stop, just cloaked in a different ideology, you can see all of the faults emerge. 1, it becomes inherently subjective and illogical. And 2, even if they had some sort of valid point, this effort inherently empowers politicians over the people, the opposite of any free and democratic arrangement. Throughout the segment, there are variations of the same idea. Well, of course free speech, but come on, not that free.
People are surprised that this is really illegal to post these kind of words.
They don't think it was illegal?
No, they don't think it was illegal. And they say, no, that's my free speech. And we say, no, yeah, free speech as well, but it is also has its limits.
Free speech needs boundaries. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want, while everyone else is scared and intimidated.
Yeah, without boundaries, a very small group of people could intimidate others out of their rights. Warns the lady using a very small group of state agents to intimidate citizens out of their rights. But okay, fine. Let's play out the thought exercise. If these boundaries are so obvious, then what are the boundaries? Because once you've granted the premise that words are violence, and they're protecting the victims of online violence after all, then any word is a weapon and everything gets silly. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words are indistinguishable from sticks and stones and are also weapons.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
It is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet, because in internet it stays there. If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you're in the internet, if I insult you or a politician,
That sticks around forever.
yeah.
How is the internet worse? Insults face to face are far more likely to produce real violence. So are we trying to stop violence or just hurt feelings? Well, okay, maybe hurt feelings aren't the point, but the point is, speech is only free if it's contributing to the political debate, and insults don't do that.
It's okay to criticize a politician's policy, but not to say, I think you're a jerk and an idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Comments like "you're son of a bitch," excuse me for using, but these words has nothing to do with political discussions or a contribution to a discussion.
Well, I guess send the Interpol to arrest Joe Biden for his crimes against humanity.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
But sure, we'll be fair. Trump too.
Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Don't you understand?
But of course, these comments do contribute to a discussion, actually. Humor and charm are just as important in persuasion as connection with the facts is. Besides, what if we're talking about regulations for puppy sales, for example? In that context, it is absolutely substantive politics. Hey, get that son of a bitch his rabies shot. Local ordinance requires it, and we're all in this together. The point is, who decides what a legitimate contribution to the political debate is or is not? The people who rightfully shape the politics in any given country, or the government trying to impose it on them? And it's clear which philosophy the Germans have pursued. The government tells the people what to do, not the people tell the government what to do. And so German politicians have exploited this backward speech philosophy to protect themselves. They are the real victims of online violence. They made it a crime to call a politician a dick.
It was a 2021 case involving a local politician named Andy Grote that captured the country's attention. Grote complained about a tweet that called him a Pimmel, a German word for the male anatomy. That triggered a police raid. As prosecutors explained to us, in Germany, it's okay to debate politics online, but it can be a crime to call anyone a Pimmel, even a politician.
Oh, well, that's not politically substantive, these prosecutors say. Yes, it is. Disdain for politicians is the most important political substance there is. It checks and challenges their power and reminds them appropriately they work for us. We don't work for them. In a proper country, calling a politician a dick should be a cherished national tradition, not a jailable offense. Because if we don't remind them regularly, they become like this lady. So caught up in their own perceived importance, they start using their power to intimidate anyone who challenges it. Someone made a meme that apparently included a fabricated quote.
Renate Künast is a prominent German politician. In 2015, this meme of the Green Party member appeared on Facebook, falsely implying that she said every German should learn Turkish.
I never said that.
Künast, a 40-year politician, says she began receiving threats and hate-filled comments from anonymous users online.
You are looking so ugly. You are an old woman. You should be raped by a group of men so that you see what all these immigrants are doing.
This was not elevated conversation.
Yeah, well, I suspect these filthy commoners aren't having elevated experiences with these migrants either. Maybe that's why they're not describing them in elevated terms. But okay, because some false quote meme caused people to call this old ugly piece of refugee bait mean names, she sued Facebook into censoring people for her and now prides herself on intimidating German citizens with further legal action.
Künast sued Facebook and won.
Yes, there are less hateful comments. There was one tweet which says, "Don't say that to her, she will take you to court."
You might sue them.
I might sue them.
Now, I get it. Defamation is a valid legal claim, even for politicians. We have it here in the U.S. If you can show that someone acted with actual malice against a public figure like her, as in they knew that quote was fake, but they posted it anyway, then yeah, there might be a case there. But that's not what the German court said in deciding in her favor. The German court did not say, well, the defamation bar against politicians is very high in the interest of protecting citizen speech to criticize them, the most important speech to protect, but that very high bar was met. The court did the Helen Lovejoy bit. Oh, won't somebody please think of the politicians? If we don't protect them, nobody will want to become one.
This court said in case of public servants which have public offices and jobs, it's public interest that their personal rights are protected, because otherwise no one would go for these jobs. That would harm democracy.
Well, there should be hesitation to go for these jobs, actually. One, because there should be hesitation to exercise power over your neighbors generally, and if you do it, you're going to need a thick skin because massive power requires massive scrutiny. And two, because these aren't jobs necessarily, as in careers. They are, in the words that she used, public service, as in you are there to secure the rights of the people in service to them, even when they're very, very mean to you, because that's what it means to serve. Anything otherwise is the people serving you, and the people serving politicians is incompatible with liberty. It means seizing the rights of the people, which isn't just a moral problem, it's a practical problem, because if you want society to advance, you need people free to advance it, and that includes all the mistakes and messiness that happen in that pursuit.
Now, within living memory of many of you in this room, the Cold War positioned defenders of democracy against much more tyrannical forces on this continent. They lost because they neither valued nor respected all of the extraordinary blessings of liberty. The freedom to surprise, to make mistakes, to invent, to build. As it turns out, you can't mandate innovation or creativity, just as you can't force people what to think, what to feel, or what to believe.
To accept democratic values isn't just to accept that the people's voice kinda matters, or sometimes matters, or maybe matters a lot, but only insofar as they stay in their lane. It is to accept that the will and, yes, the word of the people is the only legitimate basis on which the government exists.
What no democracy, American, German, or European, will survive is telling millions of voters that their thoughts and concerns, their aspirations, their pleas for relief are invalid or unworthy of even being considered. Democracy rests on the sacred principle that the voice of the people matters.
And it's not just that the voice matters, it's that it's sovereign. It is the source of political power. It is not to be controlled by political power. The people consent to the government. The government does not consent to the people. And any government that gets that point confused and tries to impose itself anyway is a government that is doomed to fail, because it has no stable foundation. Either politicians respect that truth, or that truth makes them respect it the hard way. There is no government that has ever successfully defied it long term. So if that lady thinks being called old and ugly on the internet is mean, well, that reality will make you far older and uglier when you reject it, if you survive to be old and ugly at all. But hey, I look forward to watching this Mirror sequel, The Rise of the Rainbow Reich. Same tactics, same philosophy of government. It's just this time, new Hitler brings all the undesirables in on the trains. And up in the attic, we will find the secret collection of all the best banned spicy memes. I cannot wait to read The Diary of Anne Dank. Thanks as always for listening and for supporting this channel. Always appreciate that thoughtful discussion down below, and especially over on X. That is at ML Christiansen. You're always welcome to coming out and chat in my live streams. Those live on Wednesday and Sunday nights. Looking forward to it. Goodbye.